What have you done today to live a more successful, happy, and fulfilling life? This would sound like a personal attack if you'd ask me. And here is Victor. I'm here with strategies to make your life a bit better through my own personal experiences. And down there are some cats in case this causes some sort of anxiety to you. Let's go straight into the topic. So, revising different materials, I came across those 3 rules. I've kind of lived my life, my past 4 years, in accordance to them, and I found them to be incredibly useful. And the first principle is small action is the thing that matters, and compound it eventually gets to grow into something meaningful. Or in other words, principle number 1, big achievements come one small advantage at a time. So in this case, it means that you should enjoy your journey, and it means that you should have patience with yourself. That's the key point. Especially the type of personalities that are quite similar to mine tend to be incredibly negative in terms of their self-talk. And this is not to say that we're doing something wrong. Maybe this pushes us, maybe this gives us the fire that we need to become better or to excel in our businesses or in whatever things that we want. And I already start sounding like a person who tries to sell you some sort of MLM scheme. Trust me, I'm not. I just want to say that we should believe in our day-to-day actions a bit more. And this goes back to the question that I asked at the beginning. If you did one small thing that makes you a bit more successful today, that's enough. And there are so many principles on this theme. One of them is that if you get 1% better, you will get incredibly better. It's not, so the percentages are not additive, and despite what you would say, hey, okay, maybe I would get 400 times better if I do 1% better each day, or whatever your brain might think the right answer is. The truth is, we don't know. The truth is that nobody can tell us. And I've seen people go from nothing to incredible wealth. And those are in spans of 6 months or 8 months. They managed to do something incredible, such as scoring a really high paying job or getting a business deal that was making them lots and lots of money, and they're living great lives since. And I don't think any of them relapsed, which is interesting because I think they kept this practice of doing something that makes them slightly better each day. See, it's very easy to be hard on ourselves. It's very easy to say, oh my god, I'm losing this day. Oh my god, this is so terrible, I don't have the time. Oh my god, I'm so stressed out, I have so many things to do. As a person who has dealt with anxiety more than one time in my life, I can tell you that this will only lead you into a downward spiral. And it's actually the opposite is true for the positive things that we say to ourselves. And I think there are so many principles that are just nested around this whole idea of building on top of things. You know, the same thing goes with a house which is built brick by brick. The same goes with yourself. You are built action by action. And the fact that you did something stupid 10 minutes ago doesn't mean that you cannot do something great in the next half of an hour. It's like those things are not exclusive. And the first person that I would like to say this is myself. I'm coming from a position of a person who's trying to do those things in his own life. And most of the times that turns out to be really difficult. It's not as easy to say, hey, you know, I did something stupid, like I relapsed. One of the things that I want to do is lose weight, right? And if I eat chocolate, I have a huge problem with that. I love chocolate so much. And when I relapse, I feel like shit. So I'm not even eating without feeling terrible. I'm enjoying the chocolate for 5 seconds and then I blame myself for the next 30 minutes. And I'm basically whipping myself. And it's so terrible. That kind of leads my brain to teach that, hey, it's sort of pleasurable to also be able to inflict that pain on yourself. I'm not sure if that's easy to follow, but the whole idea is that if you're doing something stupid and then you inflict pain on yourself, but you also get some pleasure from doing the first activity in the first place, your brain will feel, hey, maybe that pain is kind of worth it, hey, maybe that pain is fine, and that's not a good position to be in. You will find yourself doing more and more negative things as time elapses. So the whole idea is to stack on the positives, and each day you can find at least one thing that made your day successful. The more things you stack on top, the better you become. And there are so many people that said this. One of them said that people are not even at 50% of their capacity, and if they would get to 51, they would do so many amazing things. So even that 1%, it's so important. So while I don't advocate yourself to stress out because you feel like, oh, I haven't done anything deemed worthy this day, I advocate you to find one small thing that can make your day at least a bit successful. It can be anything. It can be even changing the batteries on your remote control. I'm not sure why this example came to my mind, but any small action, even walking to the grocery store, even saying hello to a stranger, even, I don't know, cleaning a bit your room, making your bed, anything can make your day successful. And setting the bar low doesn't mean that you are doomed to fail. It means that it gives you something positive to start on, to stack on. This is why I think it's very nice to say, hey, one of the tasks that I have in the morning is to shower and make my bed. Those two are very easy, are very simple. And if I do them, I'm feeling successful, right? And it's great because then I start working and I already have that mindset of, hey, I achieved something today, but how about I will achieve something more? And it gets to build on each other. And I think that's the beauty of it. Principle number 2, you have the power to mold your life and make it whatever you want it to be. You can accomplish anything. We are the ones who are in charge of everything, even though it might not seem like it. Even though we might have a long list of reasons why things went wrong. And in this list, if you have one, I did in the past, but if you do have one of those lists, you will go through them and you will find that you blame the society, you blame your job, you blame your family, you blame your friends, you blame your relatives. And most of the times, the person that's missing from the list is yourself. And this is not to say that, hey, again, you should be negative to yourself. No, this is about taking responsibility. And this is about understanding that you are the person who can mold your environment. You're the person who can change things. In this video, that houseplant is not showing anymore, and that's because I watered it. So I kind of changed the environment here. But there are so many examples. Somebody cuts you when you're driving. Your reaction can be that annoying, and then go on a rant. Or your reaction can be, oh well, it's just another driver who cut my way. What can I do? I'm happy that I didn't crash into him, or I'm happy that at least we're all safe. And I think being able to maintain some a sort of a peaceful state, some sort of clarity in such situations is also very helpful. I talked a bit briefly about how stressing ourselves has a negative effect on our bodies, and there are so many people that are preaching this, and for over 40 years this whole science of what damage stress induces on our body has expanded. So we kind of know that most of our ulcers and cancers and all of that are self-inflicting damage because of the way that we perceive things. So one great thing that you could do for yourself is to understand that your reactions to the external stimuli are controlled by yourself, and you can mold anything. You can mold your environment, you can mold the things that you are dealt with. And one example is, at some point in your life, I'm sure you were in a place that you wanted to get out of. Maybe, let's say you were with your friends in a club, right? And you just left. You were, okay, I want to go home now. I've had my fun. I'm tired. We're gonna see each other tomorrow. And you left. Guess what? You changed the environment. You mold the environment in accordance with what you feel in that time. So those are common sense again. That's why I love them so much. Principle number 3, success is measured through pleasure. This might be the toughest one. Success is pleasure. So when you're saying that, it means that if you are successful, you are also enjoying the process. You are also enjoying what you're doing. You are also enjoying yourself. And see, there are many people who are in high-paying jobs that they're not necessarily living a happy life. And this is not to shift the blame on them. They literally made a decision in the past that made sense, but now it doesn't anymore. And this comes across professionals, right? Let's say doctors or people in finance or lawyers, and they decide maybe at 35 or 40 or whatever, I don't want to live this life anymore. I want to do something else. I will start my own marketing company, or I will go and buy a farm and just work the land. I have the money, I have the investments, I don't need the cash anymore. I will just do the things that I love. We've been told and we know that we have to be successful. I don't think there is a person in this world that says, you know what, I don't care about success. I don't need success, I want to be unsuccessful. I want to be the furthest away from success that you've ever encountered. I don't think. Maybe it's not that high on their list, but it's still something that they would want if possible, right? So maybe it's the number 14th or 15th on their list, but it's still there. So due to this, success has become this sort of race. You have to be 24/7 successful. You mustn't have any downtime. You mustn't feel down at any point. You must have perfect family, perfect relationships, perfect social life, perfect body, perfect energy, perfect finance, perfect investments, a perfect house, what else? A perfect car, and it goes on and on and on. And this dream of having anything perfect is not reality. It's impossible to nail every aspect of your life, or at least at that level. And if you get to, and if you do it by chance, or let's say by doing the proper actions, and you get to be successful in all of those areas, you are one of the lucky few. And I congratulate you for that. But if you don't, most things don't depend on you. Getting a promotion doesn't necessarily depend on you. I don't even know how a person would react to you. It doesn't depend on you. You can be nice, you can smile at them, you can say hi, how was your day? And if they just want to be rude and say, hey, get out of my way, that's it. You cannot change that. So that's the thing. You have to understand that success is also a function of so many events, and it's not very easy to achieve it. It's not very tough to achieve it. It's just how life is, kind of complicated. And I think that's a good point to end with. I think you have to remain happy and fulfilled with what you're doing in order to achieve success. I don't think you can be miserable and successful at the same time. Those two don't quite match up in my mind, but please let me know if you have other thoughts. I think those three principles are very useful, and they're quite easy to remember, and maybe they make us slightly more aware of our lives and surroundings and how to become better for us and for everybody else. Thank you so much for watching this. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. It's been Victor here. Massive pleasure to be able to speak with you again, and we're gonna hear each other again soon. See ya.